lot of actions it can take against governors. Should we expect to see more of this, arrest warrants against governors?
Fred, allow me before I come to that to say that governors must take individual responsibility. You know,
I like that.
If I'm the governor of Murang'a, for example, I'm the senator from Murang'a, but we have a governor in Murang'a. The governor of Murang'a cannot give as a reason that there is a resolution by the Council of Governors not to appear before a parliamentary committee.
By lawyers.
Because, of course, he is coming to account about the funds that he has appropriated and expended in Murang'a County. The Council of Governors does not come in anywhere. Yeah. And Senator Eddy put it very well. We actually do not recognize it per se because it's not recognized by the Constitution. For me, it's just like a mama's chama. You know, people who have come together and given themselves a particular, given themselves, a big name. Because it is not there in the Constitution. It's just a gathering of governors. You know, I mean, just like we have Kenya Women Parliamentary Association, KEWOPA. I mean, it's just the members, women members of parliament who come together and form a caucus. So you cannot say, a member of parliament cannot say that they're not going to do their duty because KEWOPA has resolved that none of them is going to do that duty. Ridiculous. I mean, you cannot defend it that way. You have to take personal responsibility. And so the other thing that we must put very clear is that the primary oversight of a county government, Fred, lies with the county assembly. I mean, the Senate's role is secondary. Okay. The primary responsibility lies with the county assembly, and that must be made very clear. Because I've seen even Wananchi and, in fact, even lawyers questioning, saying that, senators are failing because maybe this particular project ought not have happened. I mean, the senator of any county does not have the power to either approve or disapprove a project, a county program or project. Okay. I mean, they can only question it later, and like Senator Eddy said, when it has been flagged out by the Auditor General. Otherwise, the county government of Murang'a, for example, will not come to me to ask that I approve of a particular program that they want to institute, but it will go to the county assembly to seek such approval. And so the primary oversight lies with the county assembly, and that must be made very clear.
Now to my question, as you make your final comments, because yes. I can see we only have about 10 minutes or so. Yes. On this issue of use of police and issuance of arrest warrants, yes. Some governors are claiming that this is intimidation by the Senate, that now the Senate can unleash police on you whenever they are unhappy with
it. Is not,
as you make your final comments.
It is not actually an intimidation. It is what the standing orders and the Constitution provide. I mean, if you are invited, because you first send an invite to a governor to appear before a committee, I mean, if they do not appear, we would expect that they're going to write and, of course, explain why they may not appear. We can invite them a second time, and at that time. If they fail to appear for the third time, then we issue a summon. If they do not honor a summon, then we fine them 500,000 Kenya shillings. Is the maximum for this particular fine. If we do this and they still do not appear before the committee, then we go to the last resort, which is, asking, ordering for the arrest of such a governor. Because you see, it is not a privilege that a governor gives a parliamentary or a Senate committee.
What action would follow after an arrest of a governor?
Of course, they'll be prosecuted for not honoring the committee function, or even be forced then to appear before the committee because they have failed to appear out of their own, on their own volition. So I think it is the last resort. And why this was happening, I think, I want to believe, I don't sit in that particular committee, but I want to believe that Governor Sakaja had been, invited 3 times, summoned, maybe even fined, and he still could not appear, which then must have caused the particular committee to ask for the arrest of this particular governor, and maybe the police to make sure that they situate that he appears before the committee. I mean, because you see, when diplomacy fails, then of course...
Should we expect to see a governor in cuffs appearing before Committee of Senate?
Well, if he does not want to appear, does not want to follow the laid out procedure, you know, has ignored all the invites or the summons, even after being fined, then of course they'll be forced because
as you make your final comments, Wakili, because now looking forward, this conflict appears it may not be resolved anytime soon. Do you feel that probably we should see more of this police action against governors?
I wish it came sooner. I wish it did come sooner. Well, the power to issue the summons and the arrest are constitutionally entrenched for both the National Assembly and the Senate. So anybody having a different idea should be disabused of the notion that the Senate has overstepped in this instance. And it would be foolhardy for Sakaja, with tremendous respect to him, to ignore the summons by the Senate. As Honorable Newton has rightly put it, I think the stages of protocol that they summon you, and of course, now I believe the Senate, the Senate, I believe, has accommodated very many excuses, or at least pleas for accommodation. Please, I'm not able because I have a funeral or some commitment or health or whatever it is, engagement they may have, and they're not able. I am aware that the Senate has, on several occasions, indulged the governors. So that being the first stage, and it is overlooked, or should I say downplayed, or somehow trivialized by a governor, they go to the next stage and they issue official summons. Now, official summons, under the law, under the Constitution, they bear the same weight as a court summons. You can actually be held in contempt of court of disobeying Senate or National Assembly orders. So I think the Kenyan people ought to be educated on that, so that no one sees that Honorable Sakaja is being targeted by the Senate. The Senate, in my humble view, has done what it should have been doing all along for the longest period of time. Now, the issue of the timing probably may not be too auspicious for Honorable Sakaja, but for the effecting of the law, there is never such a thing as inauspicious or auspicious occasion. So for him, I would wish him Godspeed in his obedience to the summons and to answer as faithfully as possible. And Honorable Pasari has said, unless someone has something to hide, they ought to comply. Now, the Senate, in my humble view, the National Assembly, in my humble view, has been reluctant to move the same way and in the same direction in terms of the executive members, in terms of holding them accountable. And I wish the same had happened, because a lot of Kenyan people would like to see these high and mighty who have been defying, because I heard that there is one particular cabinet secretary who had consistently defied the summons. Did they act in a similar fashion? So the Kenyans would like, and they prefer, consistency.
Okay.
And for them, I wish it was brought to light that these are the efforts that they have done to bring to account A, B, or C, or D, and they have failed. Right. Now, the sad bit is the fragmentation of our nation comes about by the weaponizing of these institutions. So one aspect, I believe, in terms of transparency of the Senate, is to strip this idea, or this notion that they are weaponizing this particular aspect, these powers. They are entrenched in the law, in the Constitution, as I have said, in targeting individuals. So, and I think Honorable Pasari has said, let us take accountability very seriously, because this is public money. And for the Kenyan people, for how long are we going to have a song sung? Because we keep hearing it. And will Sakaja end up behind bars?
All right. Senator,
is so keen on blood. Not
Oh, no.
Any Kenyans would identify.
I don't know why he's very personal. I don't get personal to him.
I'm not personal.
He's saying that I'm bloodthirsty.
Look.
And he's saying that I am.
Final comment, Senator. Okay.
You know, please, like, hold your horses. Demarcate that line. But you're attacking me.
I'm not attacking you.
Yes.
You are our Wakili, and you understand that if you are to go to court and then a court order is filed, there are two things that will happen. Either you will be taken on having willfully disobeyed orders, which is a civil case, or
No. Let me correct you.
Just
That's contempt and it's quasi-criminal.
No. Yeah.
I need to correct you.
I was going.
I'm the legal practitioner.
Just listen.
Okay. Move on.
Is this
Final
Wakili or what's
final
going
comment.
on?
Final comment.
Just listen. Be a good listener. When there's a contempt of court, let me talk Fred. When there's a contempt of court and it has been filed to such, there are two ways that it can be seen as. One is what we call the willful disobedience of orders, which becomes a civil matter, or undermining judicial authority, which becomes a criminal matter. I want that to be there. Now, these two are actually both protected in the Constitution for Senate and National Assembly, because if you read Article 125 of the Constitution, it says that the Parliament of Kenya, both the houses, have got the powers to summon anybody within Kenya to give any kind of information that the Senate or the National Assembly might require. And for the purposes, that's the Constitution, for the purposes of that particular article, the Senate and its committees, as well as the National Assembly and its committees, sit as a high court, for which my first bit of willful disobedience of orders then becomes civil. But if you look under Article 159 of the Constitution, there's something called judicial authority, which then endorses Article 125 of the Constitution, which says that, if you read part of it, says that judicial authority shall be exercised without looking at any procedural technicalities, which is what Zakaja and the people here are talking about. Some technicalities, I was called at night, I've been called to Senate 20 times, all these things, they don't feature. You are actually culpable for those two criminal activities, because you have first of all willfully disobeyed orders, and then number two, you have undermined the judicial authority that gives the parliament those kind of powers. So I wanted to make that very clear. And then the last one that I will say as my last comment is that the fundamental work of the Senate, which people are not appreciating the Senate for, under Article 91(1), is to protect the interests of counties. Okay? That means that things like making sure that money that goes to counties are actually protected. You have seen, like, when we found when we started the devolution, the county started at around 370 billion. Right now, senators have pushed for this money and are fighting on every single year to make sure that now we are at around 420 billion. And now we are going to fight for it to even go to about 450 billion. Apart from that, we pass what we call CARA, which is additional revenues that must go to counties through all other means. Apart from that, there's something called disbursement schedule that we pass and make sure that monies go to county every single month, despite exchequer releases and exchequer excesses that we see in terms of receipts. So there is a lot of work that the Senate is doing on the side of fiscal side to support counties to get resources. But then the accountability tier 2, which is what the senators do. Tier 1 is with the county assembly, as Newton had said, and actually the Supreme Court pronounced itself to that. Senate takes tier 2 of this accountability, which is interrogation of these audited reports and being able to endorse what county assembly have done. So in terms of just ranking, understand the holistic picture of the Senate, then you understand the work the Senate has done so far.
Finally,
able to
Madam Passaris, you get to wrap the show for us. Wrap it up.
You know, I was looking at the Pope. The Pope was recently asked about the war, and he said that hate has no place in this world. You know, and I feel that right now we're politicizing so much in this country, and we're driven by anger, which is turning into hate, or hate which is turning into anger. I think we need to, as we approach the Easter week. We need to anchor everything that we do for Kenya and for the people of Kenya in love. If we can do that, then we can come together and do the right things for the people. I mean, Kenya is not perfect. William Samoei Ruto did not find the perfect government. He's working towards doing things for the people of Kenya. Some he will achieve. Some he might not achieve.
Wait, are you defending him?
At the end,
Are you defending
because
him?
Let's not open debate again.
Because
We're out of time.
hold on. Because I love what I'm seeing in my county of Nairobi. I love when I go across the country as a member of the housing committee, what I'm seeing in dignified living, dignified house, dignified spaces. I really believe that we're headed to a good place, you know. So let's just be patient, because at the end of the day, pain that delivers good for this country is worth it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Women of Nairobi. I just give a parting quote.
Out of time.
Gala muue aki yake mpe. That's the
Thank you,
parting
Senator.
quote. Gala muue aki yake mpe.
Senator Eddie Oketch, Senator Migori County, Esther Passaris, Woman Representative Nairobi County, Wakili Harrison Kinyanjui, and Senator Joe Nyoto, Senator Murang'a County. Our panelists this morning on State of the Nation. Thank you so much for your time at TV47. Once again, the big headlines today: tenure ends for DCI boss haunted by abductions. That's a headline on the Daily Nation. The other one is about the governance and what we've really spent some time looking at. Yes, on the Star today, they're talking about subsidized fertilizer and getting farmers' experiences. Speaking big savings and high income. That's a Star. On the Standard, folks, back to charcoal. Matters Energy, with the image of the CS for Energy, Opiyo Wandayi, on the front page. On Taifa Leo wanazungumzia aliyetuacha ambaye ni mbunge wa Olkalau. Nasemekana hata ziko kule Olkalau, taziko kwingine Kiambu. These are the headlines this morning. After the break, we switch gears and talk matters love or money or both. And the question on the day we're asking, should we have it on screen? Yes. From your experience, what matters most to a woman in a relationship today? Use